Okay, hi everyone. After a short break to the second part of today AI talk. Thanks, Olesia, for a great talk with Ivan. Ivan, thanks for sharing your knowledge and all of the helpful insights for our community. And as we're talking about engaging people, we want also to promote and engage our community. So from all of the Thanksgiving Cohere Hackathon projects, we wanted to promote, also give a stage to two projects, despite of the winning ones. And so without any further ado, I want to present to each and every one of you Vessel, a project made by amazing team of Omni, Aberdahim, Zdravko, and last but not least, Ton. Uh, hi guys, thank you for joining in and briefly tell us about what project is. I mean, I already know and it's really amazing, but I don't want to make any spoilers, so floor is yours. And you need to unmute.
Your mic.
My bad. Yeah, should we just do the presentation?
Yes,
Yeah.
first about the project, make using presentation, then we can talk farther or wider about your project and answer chat questions and so on. So, chatters, if you have any questions, something pops to your mind, do not hesitate to ask, and for sure I will ask them, direct them to the team. So, Omni, floor is yours.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, so basically, we worked on something called Vessel. We believe it to be the backbone of AI media. So when we came into this hackathon, we kind of thought AI is really good at answering our questions, creating really amazing videos, and even creating great text-to-speech models. We just thought there are so many groundbreaking tools, but there's one major problem. None of them can understand each other. So kind of like in short of what we're building is a AI mediator. So how it works is you can type in a question and it can translate it to other AI tools. So I'm Roman J. Giorgio. I'm the product manager. I have a background in running a record label as well as making AI content and about 7 years in creative media, in the creative media field.
Yeah, my name is Abderrahim. I'm a data scientist and product manager and product manager on this project. And I worked on a lot of NLP's project previously, and recently I joined IGNIO as a data analyst. And here I'm a data scientist for the Factory of the Soul.
Hello, my name is Zdravko. I'm the business intelligence analyst. The last 2 years, I'm doing project as a data analyst and data scientist, and I have developed different startups in the last 7 years.
Hello, I am Tanchan. My background is a full stack developer. At the moment, I'm doing some website development and AI libraries.
So, I think you're on mute.
Yeah. So for the stage one, our goal is to move from like user input to for example generate an answer, and we're doing this by generating the question of that user input and then implementing it lately as a voice and then as a video. We'll see later how will we do this.
Great. So just to kind of summarize, so you can have one input of a user, and then from that one bit of text, it can be turned into a text-to-speech model. It can be used in a video model, and like all these other AI tools. So the kind of idea is one question can be translated between all these AI models. So just to kind of like show you kind of like the input and output. So how we trained it on answering questions. So if a user said, I like maths and problem solving, what should I be when I'm older? We trained it on a pipeline to create a sort of educational video. So I'm not sure if anyone can hear this, but what it does is it has this input and it translates it to all these different AI tools to have one finished final product at the end of it.
Mike, the mic.
Yeah, I think you're in mute.
So, Mike.
Okay, so why should we take a step in the industry now? Because the global AI market is expected to grow from nearly 140 billion to more than 1,800 billion in just 8 years. It means we are at the very beginning of the process, and it's a good time for us to take a step in this industry.
Yeah, so with this, there's just literally so many different use cases. Like for the example that we use to train it on with education, where you can translate one piece of media in loads of different ways. With marketing, 80% of consumers said they'll go to a business that offers personalized services. So through this, you can personalize the media you do through the vessel pipeline. And kind of what we've been working on at the moment is a project called Fracture the Soul, and we're sort of working on a AI ecosystem. So the idea is users could drag and drop different AI pipelines in a really super customizable platform.
So our business model, it's if we are approaching business to business model, it's with our API that we are going to develop in the Factory of the Soul, or even business to customer, which is with our Discord bot or other applications from our Factory of the Soul.
Yeah, so I see a very very clear roadmap. I think we all do. So one, we're going to optimize it. We're going to test it. We're going to make it the best it can be. The second stage is we're going to deploy it to a Discord mod. Sorry, we're going to deploy it so other people can use it. Then we can market it with some of our AI content. And then the sort of next stage of that is to integrate it into other tools and make it really accessible for other developers. Then after that, we just scale it. We just cut down prices. We make really good documentation and just grow the business. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, we're more than happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Team Fessel. It's really a great project. As you first identified a problem, because during hackathon the best practice is to identify the problem and find solution, not discover make a solution to a non-existing problem. So really nice that you identified it on it as early stage, as AI is still developing. We see all of these prompts to image, prompts to text, and so on and so on. And you already identified the module, the communication problem, mediation between them. So maybe you can tell something more about this, the whole concept of it, as the marketing seems really nice and the pipeline and so on. But how it can improve? I mean, we know all of the industries where you can use it, but how we should use it and why we should use it, okay?
Yeah, so in short, what we're all working on is something called Factor the Soul, and how we're going to build it into a use case is we've created AI systems that are interchangeable between each other. So we separate the natural language processing, we separate AI tools, we separate sort of Discord bots. So it's kind of like a mix and match system. And what Vessel is, it's like a translator between this mix and match a match system. Because you probably see so many projects that sort of come in here, but they have to deploy through Google Collab or they have to deploy like something like Jupyter Notebook where they can't market it to people because most people don't want to use Jupyter Notebook. The kind of way we're sort of thinking how this can move forward is we're building a very easy platform where it's kind of like a drag and drop interface. I'm not sure how much of that is making sense because I'm a very diagram person, but that's kind of like this the way I see it going forward.
In two words, just to add about it, and what Omni as well said it's easy to use. So people not being scared to jump in the AI world don't need to program. That's it.
And as the time for we will be trying to add a lot of more functionalities. For example, we can use, for example, we can implement this, for example, a chatbot for education stuff, or for let me say and for interview stuff. For example, if companies want to make automatic interviews as first interviews, or no, something like that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, guys. And I have a question from our community, from different participants. So maybe not that marketing one. Can you give advice on how to properly delegate responsible in a team? As you are a four-member team, and some teams, as we will know in a couple of minutes, consist only one person, or there are two, three, five people team. I see that all of you are responsible for a different part, so you somehow had to share or divide the responsibilities. So, was it because you knew that, for example, Omni is best in product management? That's why he has been chosen, or because someone else was better in data science, and so on and so on. So,
I
please
can
share your knowledge.
I can share from my side how I see it. We are having constant communication. Yes, it's true. One, it's better in data science or product development, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be the only person doing that. We are kind of sharing. We are listening each other, respecting each one opinion, and it's as well the whole project of Factory of the Soul is being decentralized. So it's not like centralized in one manager, one owner. It's rather who can contribute to it. And that's why we are welcoming every engineer or passionate about artificial intelligence to join our project and to make it bigger as possible.
Yeah, and I think to just add on that, it's like when you join these kind of things and sort of delegation, I think it's just really important that you find people that are really consistent. I think nothing else really matters other than consistency. And it's like I feel like all of us kind of excel in our own fields, but we're all very consistent. Where we're turning up to meetings every time, we're communicating, doing stuff, stuff like that. So if they're asking about like how they delegate in their own team, I'll just say find people that are really consistent and passionate about what they do.
So consistency and being reliable, right? As you join and you are meeting with like-minded people from all around the world, and you want to deliver, you want to create something, you need to first think about not wasting other people potential or time. And
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing. It's about nowadays. My opinion is like there is a lot of stuff in internet, and it's about dedication and pursuing the goal. And the goal is of the whole team, not like your own thing and to be the superstar. So it's about, as he said, consistency and being dedicated, and that's it. And everybody can join, even if you don't know, you can learn it. Nowadays, everything is fast and easy and possible only if you have a desire.
so
yeah,
not
and
Captain America, but Marvel. I mean, Avengers, not Superman, but Justice League, right?
yeah, and just to sort of add on to that, so it's like AI is a really new industry. So it's like if you're like even if like there's probably loads of people that I see in the chat that don't really they sort of come in, they say they don't know like too much about AI now, but like AI is a super new industry. It's like if you're just consistent, you learn it like an hour a day. Like, even if you do it an hour a day over a week, you're gonna be like what like somewhat good. Like what happens if you do it an hour a day over a month, over a year? You know, you're gonna be like one of the experts in this field.
Awesome.
As well,
And
as
last,
well with this hackathon, just to add, as well with this hackathon in a short period of time, creating that project, you really learn a lot because it's under pressure. So I think with hackathons, you're even more developing.
yes, because you're dedicating your 48 hours or 7 days, because our upcoming hackathon, to which I invite all of you, will be a longer one. So it will be a longer event, more time, and so on. But maybe it's a question if it's better to dedicate 3 days of your time of your life to develop a working model and then work on it, as Ivan previously during talk said, how to work on it and not kill it after a couple of days afterwards. Or maybe this 3 days model is worse than the 7 days, as you have more time, you can delegate, you can divide your strengths and make a schedule and so on. So I want to ask a last question from our community. As Thanksgiving hackathon was a cohere hackathon, and the question is, how do you find cohere technology in practice?
Well, actually, as I work with the cohere library, like we find it like more suitable for the project. That means, for example, if we need to generate something, it's for example it's easy, for example, to connect with the API key, and then for example, if we need to add a classification function, it's like there is a pre-trained model for classification or pre-trained model for generating text, for example. The thing is how to, for example, to combine all these models, for example, and define let me say the best options for your model to build an efficient model for your customers, for example. That's my opinion about the cohere library. I really found it like a bit easy to use rather than others, for example,
Uh,
for
and
different
and
models. Yeah, yeah,
and just to and like just to add on, like I don't- like I don't want to necessarily lie, so it's like I just want to be like straight up. I think GT3 is better at generating text. Like it just is better at generating text. But where Cohere is quite good is it's really good at fine tuning. Like I found it was a lot easier to sort of customize it and fine tune it to its model. So I think it is really important to like I guess define which competitors are better at certain things and like where Cohere has the edge.
exactly.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time. And last question will be from me. Are you going to work further on your project? And I mean, already Zdravko said that you're looking for engineers and people to join. So I guess yes, but do you want also to address something to our community or to people watching us right now? I mean, floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, I guess we kind of went over this briefly, but we've kind of got like a vision of I think building like the next big AI product. Like we can see it being like a sort of Amazon level of like AI. Like the sort of idea is we want to build AI systems that are super easy to use and customize. We want to make it so developers can deploy their AI models very easily. Have a Discord bot just sit there and ready and sort of monetize it straight away. Our sort of main thing we're focused on now is to make it super easy for developers, but also as well make it super easy for users to come on. So it's a little bit all over the place now, but we're just in the sort of frame where we're going to condense things, we're going to simplify it, we're going to release documents and a roadmap, etc., etc. If anyone's interested, check out the Factor the Soul Discord, and we can sort of explain it more there.
And to add to all of that, I think I said it as well before, but like everybody's welcome to text us and to join even the team. There is no requirements for junior position of 3 years. Like you have zero experience, your entry position, but real entry position. We are open. We are just starting, looking as well and participating in some accelerators about investment things. So we have a big plans about it. We are already on it. So who have a desire about passion about AI, more than welcome to join us and text us.
Great about the community which comes all together, and it's open to people from all of the backgrounds and from around the world. Okay, last question from me, and we have to really go to a second really interesting project. Did you know each other before the hackathon, or you just met here and and you were looking for a team, or how did you all come up together?
No, actually, it starts like I started with Omni for the first hackathon, and then Zdravko and Ton joined us. We're like Omni is from UK, I'm in France, and Zdravko is living in Spain, and and yeah, like we are from all the world, and we're looking for for international members. Let me say, for example, engineers or technical members. I don't know. Yeah, like the first time we don't meet each other, and but yeah, we made our team.
Only bring us together.
Yeah.
With this great accent at the end, I want to thank you, Team Vessel, for your project, for your participation, and once again, as you will have time to rest from your developing your current project, we invite you to join the upcoming OpenAI hackathon as well. Just a quick break from the serious new AI couple of billion worth business you are developing. So thank you very much for your time. And right now we will switch to second project. It's called the TheraLove, and it's a project from Cleona Key. Thank you very much for joining in. And as previous project we are talking about was about mediating and connecting, here also your project connects or mediates, or actually it's about communicating and therapy, getting know more your needs and getting into your mental health, connecting with it. So tell us more about it. Stage is yours.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Pamolio. Okay, so I'm gonna be sharing this short that right here. And TheraLove is actually a combination of therapy and love itself. Well, this is using AI to match effective mental health therapy that suits you the most, actually. And a bit about me, I'm currently a biomedical engineering student who is in my final years, and I have been involved in many mental health technology projects since 2019. And yes, so we will go on to what are the problems right now. So whenever you have some of the problems, we know that, oh, we must seek help from the professional. But as mental health field is developing more and more therapies, like what kind of therapy do we choose? And like we are just so confused most of the times. And the pain of wasting time is actually one of the biggest factors that make people withdraw from the therapies when their symptoms change, which means that right now I might be having, for example, generalized anxiety disorder, but then later on I might become depressed. So the symptoms and the disease might change. But unlike the physical health, we can screen and see, oh, this cancerous or this tumor is like getting bad. We cannot know about whether the mental health symptoms are changing. So what we do is we want to understand from time to time with simple questions, what are the symptoms that are changing? So we can update the symptoms and match with the most suitable therapy. And with that, we also want to give precise answers to how many percent of recommendation of using which type of therapy. So about how we do it is, first of all, using cohere classify to key in the depressive symptoms or other mental health illness symptoms. And then there's the data of frequency depressive symptoms, which are generated for all these sources. And then there is the input, which is a very simple question from the person, the user. And then the output would be the therapy as shown. But like, really, how do we do it at the back? So first you see the input one or input two are the things that the AI detects from the person's answers, whether it is the adverse factor or the personality, the hobbies, the personal preference in the sentence. So with identification, the AI would generate the productive factors and understand the output to know which is the type of therapy that is suiting. And with that, the potential partners we see right here are actually the partners that I have been connected with. So the psychiatrists from uni and college, and then the societal prevention orgs, and then the Web3 mental health community and companies who are actually valuing workplace mental health. They are all needing this. And so the market overview is telling us that this is an expanding market with high demand in an ascending trend, and it is going to go up by billions by 2027. Well, and the marketing strategy are with some of the free trials that we see here and the premium plans. So it is going to provide the lead generation by having all these freebies and healing therapies matching that we have, but then like the premium plans with unlimited generation for like all these matching therapies will help us to generate income. So the roadmap as shown is to develop the team and then some of the codes and also add up more talents in the team and expand our partnerships as we collaborate with more people and launch the beta version. And so I'll be doing a demo right here. I'll be doing it live. So to save time, I will just write all this sentence right here. As you can see, these are actually the questions that are being asked by the user, right? So right here are actually the outputs that we see that are generated right here. So we can see that this person say that I'm depressed, which type of therapy suits me. Then we can see that very specifically this person needs to call the lifeline, need to do CBT, and then maybe some of the aromatherapy, chromotherapy, and using AI mental health assistant, etc. And then the same thing goes to the other things, like this person want to talk to people. So obviously this person should be calling the lifeline or have like the talk therapy with some of the psychiatrists and psychologists, etc. So this is all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Cleona. As I was first introduction to Cohere, I was thinking how it would be if we had personal assistant, but personal therapist in our pocket. Is it possible to use AI to support the therapy or to engage the therapy, or how to use it? Is it possible to use it? And you found an answer. Of course, it can be used, as AI is a tool which can help with everything. And also, as we saw on the presentation, you use data from clinical data, right? To have it
Yes,
as
yes.
accuracy. Can you tell us something
Yes.
more about the input? Because you need a special model, I mean, special data to use to be as accurate as we are talking about mental health, about the really important thing in today's time as well as it was always, right?
Sure, I totally understand. So I have also uploaded the data collection to my GitHub. So if you guys see like on lablab.ai, you can actually click on my GitHub. But right here, I'm gonna summarize a bit of some of the data sources. So first is like our work in data. They are very good at collecting these sources. But of course, like on the mental health side, we are actually consistently looking at some of those like WHO, World Health Organization, and then there's this international classification of diseases. So ICD is actually having all these diseases that help us understand like which type is actually caused by what and causes, etc. And then there's also this Global Burden of Disease, GBD. And there's also this Institute of Health Metric and Evaluation, IHME. So I want to say a bit about data since you asked that all this data, they are not that organized at first. Like yes, I've put up there that it seems like they have all these like depressive symptoms, like the causes of it, or like the productive factors of them, but they are just like not sure about what to do with the data. So when we have the data right here, especially I love the data of frequency depressive symptom, because when they see which type of symptom is actually helping us to understand like what is the cause and what are the productive factors, which means that the factors could be used for us to target the factor directly to provide the mental health therapy, which means that last time maybe we might be using like years. I'm not even kidding, because in the mental health side, like we really use years to understand a person's mental health state and understand what is this person going on. And but now you can see that when we see the symptoms and we know like what is the cause directly by using some of the history that we have in line, because we have been through so much as a human, as an embodiment of humankind ourselves, so we should have been accelerating mental health engineering. So you want to use that data in an effective way that it down all of the time wasted on finding out what is effective for the person. Yeah.
Really amazing. And did you come up with the idea before the hackathon? Because you're a one-person team, so it was easier to pre-work on a project, and or did you come up with it on Friday as the hackathon started, or is it something you've been struggling before and it just popped up at this moment?
Very good question. But I want to say that the team is having in my mind like the team mental health is in my mind for so long since I was 5 years old. but for the whole like cohere, like what to use, I have been experimenting during the hackathon because I want to emphasize on how good the workshops and the boilerplates and some of the tutorials on lablab.ai is, that I think helped me a lot. So like when doing it and experimenting it when the hackathon started actually helped me to understand everything more. So I mean I didn't start early on, but you can see that there is a series of some of my projects that are related. So this one is using this cohere classify tool, which is insanely cool, that I just realized during the hackathon. So if anyone want to join, I also advise them to like do it in between the workshops, that we can ask some of the speakers and mentors the questions related, because it's gonna be like more effective. Yeah.
Okay, and as you said, it's evolution from your previous project somehow. And so the question I have from community: what makes you come again and again to participate in LabLab AI hackathons? Because this Thanksgiving Cohere one was third or fourth of yours.
Well, I think it was second. Well, talking about that, maybe I could like share screen again, because before this, it although I also use AI, but they are totally different projects. Like before this, there's this chromotherapy, and then I move on with like using Cohere Classify. But later on, like in the recent hackathon, we are using CBT with Cohere Conversant. So every single project is just using totally different tool, but they are tackling different specific problems in the mental health industry. Because when we talk about mental health itself, like that is also one of the reasons why I always bring up this topic, is because in the AI field or in many of the engineering fields, because I'm in biomedical engineering. So when we go up to like most of the hackathons or competitions, like when we talk about healthcare, we are so focused on the physical health. Well, and I am actually very grateful that in some of my hackathons, I meet teammates who see the hope and love in developing mental health technology. And this one, like TheraLove that I mentioned, I was going solo because it was like a simpler project compared to the others. I wouldn't say like very simple, but like you can use the data and do all those things alone. So it was one of the fun ways to let us destigmatize mental health in the technology field, or I say like in the AI field right here. And of course, like I have a model to myself that many people are actually talking about the risk in AI because, I want to tell a bit like about how when we use technology, there are actually many people who are like well known in the industry who message me and discuss with me about the harm that this technology can be. But I always convince them, yeah, about how it is not about how we just like avoid the thing and say that, oh, it's gonna be harmful potentially, because I know. But rather than that, we are supposed to like face it and understand what are the harms. Like let's say maybe AI, there are like certain ways, like if it is not used like correctly, if it is not used with the consent of the user, its privacy leak, etc., etc. There are many things that we can choose from, but it is the way that we face it, and then we cover up, we just want to accelerate the technology and maximize the potential, which is so big that it can bring to us, that cut down the time and the wastage on energy and our burden and our
Exactly.
health.
So, as
Yeah.
you said, I would compare it, paraphrasing your words, to the discovery of
Yes. Okay,
dynamite.
sure.
It's
Yes,
depends how to
sure.
use it. It depends on the user and how can you progress with it, or how will you use it. As for with your project, it's about mental health, so something really important and something, and a field which still develops, as you show numbers for potential investors, how the business is blooming, how the market is still developing, and with the help of AI, it can still grow in a tremendous way, even more. And I wanted to ask you because okay, you now you work with Cohere. Previously, you work with different technology, as you said, and now we have upcoming OpenAI Hackathon next week. I mean, this Friday, actually. And are you also planning to join, or you wanted to take a stop for a little bit, work on a project you develop? Focus on finding an investors, and maybe after with a New Year's resolution, come to different new hackathons of LabLab AI.
Yeah, I think like after these three projects in a row, I will take some time like refining them before like joining more and getting into more commitments. But then I will be sure to like pay attention to all the like hackathons that are ongoing on lablab.ai because they are very interesting, to be honest.
Okay, so last question from me is because you previously mentioned the support of our mentors. And as I see in social media, people asking, is it helpful? Is they really helping? I mean, also there are questions if hackathons are free, but of course they are. Knowledge is free, and we support the growth of community. But how do you can tell about the experience of meeting our mentors? Were they helpful? Were there, I don't know what other adjectives. I don't want to force an answer. So just tell about your experience with mentors of LabLab during hackathons.
Well, I really love how our speakers are dedicated into answering our questions on live stream. And then our mentors are actually always prepared, but we just need to ping them, tag them, because under Discord, there are many servers, and yeah, sometimes they overlook or whatever, but after pinging them and telling them our issues, they would actually check on them and be very patient to explain with us. Like mentor Irvin, and then there's a mentor Skander that have been helping me recently with the hackathons, and I think that their advice is pretty useful with very direct comments. So yeah, this is honest review. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Cleona. And final words. Do you want to tell something to the community? I mean, stage is yours.
Excuse
Final
me,
words.
Mark. Can I ask a
Yes.
question
Yes,
before
of
we'll move
course,
on?
of course.
Thank you.
Yes.
I just jump on to ask. Actually, this time you work in a solo team, right? For this
I
project.
am consulting. You mean the CBD what?
No, I mean yes. For the project you just present, he was working in a solo team, right? Without any members except you in the team.
Yes, yes, yes. The
Okay.
TheraLove was solo. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to ask because I know that before you had like two members team, and on the previous hackathon you had that we just have that weekend, you had like big team. So that's my question. If you will compare your experience working in solo and working in team with a lot of members, what would you recommend, and what did you like personally the most?
Oh my God. This is something that I actually have tested to know. And well, okay, I'm not gonna say which one is better or bad because it depends on personal preferences. But for solo team, I would recommend it for the people who knows like from back end to front end and knows like all the business sides of everything. So for solo, you wanna have like a very good overall technical skills and auto skills that are needed. Um, but but for the people who are solo, I also want to warn you that maybe you want to consider like refining all those things within the time frame that is limited. So you want to like be concise and precise because like 2 hours like doing this and 2 hours doing that. So it needs to be kept on moving because there's only you. That is the good and the bad thing at the same time because you can be working on all those things on your own timeline. So when you are eating, when you're sleeping, it's okay. And but then at the same time, you know that there's only you. So on the group side, you can see that when I'm eating or sleeping, there are always team members who would just like, take over the baton and have this like all those things running in the background and they are coding all those things. So it's a very fun way. But in a group, like there are good experiences that I feel the love of the other people supporting me, but also there are the bad sides that I experienced a few times that my teammates suddenly just drop out, and that happens a lot. I don't know why, but it's okay because it makes us appreciate more for the people who stay with us and work with us as a team, and we would eventually know like who are those who would use their technical skills and knowledge for good within this time, and it will make us like to have collaborations with them after even the hackathon for teaming. So this is actually like my comparison overall for the people. So if you are actually hesitating, you can try out like grouping first, and then you go solo like I did, and then you will see which one suits you the best. Yeah.
And just wanted to add that people is writing in the chat that the project is very interesting and fascinating on our social media and even on direct to Nasty. So that's a compliment a little bit from our participants to your project.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I do not have any more questions. Mark, you may ask your.
Yes, one popped up as you were talking. So, as you were in a previous group hackathons, group projects, you also didn't know people. You made a team here during LabLab AI hackathons, and so people were from different time zones as well. So as you were sleeping, they were working, and no one was missing out, right?
Yes. And it's very interesting because for the dedicated ones and the ones who stay until the end, you'll see that we actually only have like a very short period of sleeping and working if it involves working. So we plan out like, okay, after I code, like right now, you can go sleep. And then after I code later on, like at your time zone, maybe in India, maybe in Berlin, and then it's your turn to code that part. So it's very fun, and it's a thing that I didn't know I could do like before having this hackathon. Actually, yeah.
Amazing. So, last words, please.
Oh, last words. I would say, like, well, have love in each project that you are building for all the talents, and for anyone who is struggling mentally, or you know anyone with it. Well, have patience and love in them, and because this community actually needs you, and this community is wonderful because of you. So don't give up. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you for the message. Sending a lot of love to community and to everyone who's watching. Thanks for your time and see you in the next hackathons. Bye.
See you. Bye. Thank you.